Art Rooney II speaking earlier this week in one of the late additions to the Pro Bowl, which just tells you how, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way to Russell Wilson, but let's be realistic. It shows you how far down the barrel they're going to get willing participants for dodgeball when Russell Wilson is a Pro Bowler. Because this year, no, he missed half the season for crying out loud, and when he played, it was not Pro Bowl level. He had some Pro Bowl moments, but consistently it wasn't Pro Bowl level. Anyway, the Steelers have to make a decision. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, both become free agents. Do you bring them both back? Do you bring neither? Do you bring one or the other? Art Rooney II said earlier this week of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, I think they're both capable quarterbacks. My preference would be to sign one of them. So that'll be the priority, and I think that'll give us the best opportunity to move forward. I think both of them see themselves as starters. I don't know that they want to share the same job again next year, so I would say most likely we probably don't wind up bringing them both back. Now, that was interpreted as one or the other. It could be that he knows which one he wants to sign, and he's just not saying so. The exact words are, my preference would be to sign one of them. Now, there might be more that he said after that, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to flip a coin here. Or I thought maybe put an offer out there and say whoever takes it first is going to be the quarterback.
Right.
That was my first thought. But when I see that language, there is a chance that he knows who he wants. And he's just not going to say so right now because they probably would like to use the uncertainty that maybe they'll pivot to the other guy and negotiate the best possible deal with the one they actually want.
I think that's exactly right. They'd probably want to get a little feel for what these guys are going to be expecting or asking for, right, in contract negotiations and any of that. Plus, I'm sure it's still early. Have they had these talks yet exactly where they want to go between the two? I don't know. Again, either way, and either guy they keep, whether it's Wilson or Fields, to me, somebody else also has to be brought in, whether that's we draft somebody that we think maybe could be the future or some other type of free agent, right? But I don't think you can just go all in with either one and just go, oh, we feel good. We're warm and cozy. Boom. We're good at quarterback. And I also look at it, and I don't know, when you sit here and tell me either one, I feel like I favor Justin Fields if you're going to make me choose either one. Again, we've seen what Russell Wilson is, right? This is like 3-4 years in a row of kind of the same play, the same issues. And let alone, I think we both heard enough stories about, again, whether he's loved in the locker room and is he a great leader and is he the guy that people really want to rally behind and is he really the future of your organization? There's maybe more of a chance for Justin Fields to be the future than Russell Wilson. And also, I think that, from what you hear, that, people react in the locker room a little bit better to Justin Fields than Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I think that you're right, and I wonder whether or not Art Rooney's setting up this sense of a competition just to appeal to the competitive juices of Justin Fields. Like, hey, I want to be the one they keep. I want to be the guy who stays. A lot of it depends upon who else wants him and how much he'll be offered. There's still growth necessary in the passing game.
Yes.
There were throws. I remember back in the preseason, he had somebody open in the end zone. He sailed it over his head. The running is impressive. The passing is a work in progress. And last year when they pivoted from Fields to Wilson, the thinking was from Mike Tomlin, I want to win a Super Bowl, and Russell Wilson's been there and done that. So that's the wagon I'm going to hitch my horse to, or that's the horse I'm going to hitch my wagon to, however the metaphor goes. That's what Mike Tomlin decided to do because he had a bigger play in mind. In hindsight, they probably would have been better off, since they went one and out anyway, better off riding with Fields, letting him develop, because then next year he's in a better position to take you farther than he did this year. So I think it's Fields. Whether Fields chooses to stay is a different issue. Who else wants him is a different issue. But I think it's going to be Fields. And then Russell Wilson, where's he going to go? And they're already talking about Pete Carroll and the Raiders. Do people forget how quickly that it kind of got ugly near the end?
like Pete Carroll was happy to get him out of there, like out of Seattle. Right. I don't either. I heard that yesterday too, and I was like, wait, are you serious? Like, I don't see that happening. I don't see that. Exactly right. What you said and what we know went on in Seattle, how he was viewed there, Russell Wilson, and how it got all at the end where, I mean, as you and I know it, they were exhausted of him. They were ready. I mean, just get out of here. We've had enough. See you later. We're going to move on with Geno Smith and somebody else for the future.
As best I could glean it as it was happening, and I believe this is accurate, Russell Wilson saw the Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen revolution to NFL offense, and late in his time with the Seahawks, he started clamoring for more and more and more. He wanted the offense to run through him. And every time we say that, there's geniuses out there who say, what are you talking about? The offense always runs through the quarterback. No, there's two different ways you can do it. You can have the quarterback be a bystander who's just distributing the football, or the quarterback is the guy who constantly stirs the drink. The Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allen, the Lamar Jackson, although this year with Derrick Henry, not quite as much. But Russell wanted to be that guy. Russell thought, I'm as good as these guys. I just need the chance to show it. That's
right.
what let Russ cook meant.
Yes, exactly.
And at one point near the end of his time in Seattle, the PS to let Russ cook was, if not, he'll go find another kitchen. And it felt inevitable that he would, and he did. And what happened? The cake exploded in his face in Denver. And we've seen there are limitations. And now he's 3 years older than he was when he was in Seattle. I think that won't happen.
Yep.
And I think anything Pete Carroll says about it now, like he did on the What the Football podcast, it's too early to say if the Raiders would consider him. It's going to be friendly. It's going to be charitable, but it's not going to be unequivocal, and it's not going to be anything close to open the door for Russell Wilson. We got to have him. How is he not being gobbled up by some other team? He's a clear franchise quarterback. At this point in his career, at this stage of his life, he's not.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not. When you look at Russell Wilson, I think if you evaluate his game, the one thing he does at a high level is throw the deep ball, right? But other than that, there's no other area in his football game where you can sit there and go, oh, wow, that's still elite or high level for the position, right? He's not great within the pocket. When the pocket collapses, he doesn't throw the ball down the middle of the field very often, right? He can hold the ball at times. His ability to make plays off schedule is few and far between anymore. And I think, like, back to what you were saying a few minutes ago, I think that was part of, like, hey, Justin Fields, when he was in there, yeah, he missed a few throws that you'd like to see hit, certainly. And Russell Wilson hit those when he first got in. But once the offense has kind of figured out the areas of the field and what Russell Wilson kind of has tendencies to do when it comes to the drop-back passing game and all that, we saw it became big-time Strugglesville. And they did not look the same in the offensive side of the ball in the end of the year. And the passing game wasn't that good because it was kind of like take away Pickens, take away outside here. He's not going to throw to Freiermuth over the middle, and there's certain things he won't do. And then we can kind of hedge on that kind of attack from the Steelers, and that hurt them down the stretch. I don't think there's any question about that.
The biggest difference is, and I think every athlete goes through this, when Father Time inevitably wins, you still think you can do what you used to do. You're the last one to acknowledge to the world, and more importantly to yourself, that you're not the guy you used to be. When he tried to turn the corner in the wild card game and Matabuke caught him like 3-4 years ago, he doesn't get caught there.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
And so there are limitations, there are boundaries. Yes, he still throws a great deep ball. He needs time to do it. He can't buy as much time with his legs. I remember when we first were marveling at Patrick Mahomes, and you had Russell Wilson like at 3.
Yeah.
On your quarterback rankings.
Right.
And we were showing the clips and breaking down the film, and it's like he does the same stuff Mahomes does without the theatrics.
Right.
Right? He buys time, runs away from traffic, but when he throws the ball, there isn't this sense of edge of the seat, anything can happen, hair on fire that you see with Mahomes. That makes it more entertaining. It gives it that Globetrotters element. With Russell Wilson, it was just, okay, all right, nobody here, run here. Okay, run here, boom, done.
Yeah, right.
And it's almost like it happens too fast. And I think I said it's like the original Gladiator movie when he was killing the people too fast. the mob can't really enjoy it because they can't understand it because it's happening too fast. That's what he was. And he thought he could take that and bootstrap it into becoming a Mahomes or an Allen, and it just didn't work. So, yeah, I'll be stunned. Stunned. Because they already started that. Oh, Pete Carroll. You know, the most obvious dot connecting. Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, they're in Seattle. Maybe they'll be together again. It's like, no, it was a shit show by the end.
Yes.
They wanted to move on.
Right.
It was cantankerous.
And
it was acrimonious.
Right. And you go, wait, Tom Brady's there, and he's going to go, wait, I've seen enough football here in the last 2 years to know Russell Wilson's not the guy we want marching us into the future here of quarterback play. So that's where, I don't see that happening at all. We'll see. Pittsburgh's going to be interesting. Pittsburgh's got some decisions to make. We've talked about it. Their team is good. There's a lot of solid there. They're the big-time difference makers. No, they're not. Is their talent on the same level as some of the top teams in football? No, it's not, right? So that's going to be the other thing with them, too, is just, where does the rest of this football team, let alone just the quarterback position, go?
Well, and before we pivot to that, who was the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks when they called it was Darrell Bevell.
Yeah.
Darrell Bevell was
right.
the one when they called. See, I really do think at some level Tom Brady is returning the favor to guys who gave him a Super Bowl ring. So maybe he will. Maybe he will want to sign Russell Wilson. He's already hired Pete Carroll, the head coach of the team that called for the pass instead of the run with the Super Bowl on the line. Darrell Bevell, the offensive coordinator who would have dialed up the play. Why not? Why not go ahead and add Russell Wilson too, if you're paying back people who gifted you a Super Bowl ring? Anyway, I'm being facetious. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.